Hey everyone, Kevin Muldoon here, and I'm back with another handheld review. This is the PXP3 Slim Station, sometimes known as the MD2700 because of this. And as the name suggests, there has been a few iterations before this. And this one on its own has been out for a few years, so it is quite popular. You'll see lots of reviews out there, but this is my first time looking at it. I was hoping to do a review about this a month or so ago. Placed an order from AliExpress and there was a problem with the payment, so I didn't get it, and then my girlfriend got it on its own. You can see some of the games advertised around the side of this. You've got ISS, you've got Crash Bandicoot, you've got Spider-Man, Sonic, other ones around the back, Superman games, etc. Excuse me. But, you know, I don't think we're going to get graphics like that. You can see it comes in 8 colours. This one apparently is black. It comes in red, green, sapphire, silver, orange, pink, blue and the black. The box apparently has the console, AC adapter, lithium-ion batteries, AV cable and the manual. And the case says that it's got a 2.7 inch screen. So just a brief history about this, why someone would buy this. This isn't a top of the range console. This isn't even a mid-range console. This is the cheapest piece of crap you can buy. This retails for around $15 on these Chinese websites such as AliExpress, GearBest, that kind of thing. Okay, so we'll see what's in the box. I think that's it. That's all there is there. It's a kind of bizarre box. I'm going to have to try and keep that nice because, as I said, my girlfriend bought it. She bought it for her son for Christmas, and I think that's the ideal reason to buy this. As I said, this is a low end handheld, $15, and one of the reasons you would buy this is because you wouldn't care if it gets broken or scratched or anything like that. We bought the little man the 2DS last year, and he loved it initially, and give it about a week or something. It was about a week or so afterwards he just lost interest in it. And you spend a lot of money on these things, you buy games for them, and then you inevitably just throw them away. The wee man's only 4 turning 5, and I think the PXP3 is great for kids that age, because I think between 3 and 7 kids don't really take a pride in things and they lose interest easily as well. I think maybe when they get a little bit older they might decide they want a specific handheld. Now you can see in the box here we've got the handheld, we've got 2 cartridges, and they're backing up this crazy claim that you see in the box. It says 999,888 built in, and then it says 900,000 game card, which is just bizarre. And well, this one says 999,666 in one, so I don't know which one's right. You've got an AV cable there if you want to connect it to your television, and you've got a USB charging cable, and this is, getting shot there, this is A to mini B. So it's not micro B, it's mini B. So this was the one that was used to charge PlayStation 3 controllers, that kind of thing. So if you've got an old PlayStation 3, you've probably got a charging cable for it already. This is the manual. It is literally 2 pages. That's all you're going to see about it. But so let's see. Oh, we have power. We have power. So before I go do that, what I just want to do is just quickly weigh it, because I think this is actually a lot lighter than you would think, because it's plastic. So it'll be good to weigh it, and we'll just kind of see where it stands. So we'll put it in grams. It is 120 grams, which is 4.2 ounces. So 120 grams, 235 for the 3DS regular, 155 for the PSP Pro, Advanced SP 160, and the Game Boy Micro, still the lightest at 88. So it's 120 grams, 119 now, or 4.2 ounces. Now, it does have a plastic feel. I'm not sure if that's going to come across in the video, but very plasticky. Right, I'll just have a look around here. So it's very like a PSP. You can see that's what they went for, and the screen looks quite small in the middle compared to modern consoles. Even though it's got this big black screen here, you know, you can see the bezel, and the actual screen is just this part in the middle. So I think for the size of it, it's quite a small screen. You have a button for reset, select, start. There's a speaker here. Now, these buttons look like they're copying the PlayStation, but they're a little bit bizarre. They've got square, triangle, circle, and X, but they're not really obvious what they are. I'm not sure if that's coming through. I mean, I guess they've done it like that just to avoid a lawsuit. You've got shoulder buttons. I think you've got shoulder buttons. No, I don't. No, you don't. That's very bizarre. Now, if you see here, it looks like you've got shoulder buttons, but nah, those aren't buttons. Those are not buttons. that's bizarre. There's a design as if these are buttons, but they're not. They're just kind of part of the design. You've got a headphone jack there. You've got the cartridge slot. You've got the mini B charging cable. The bottom you've got on and off. You've got volume. It looks like an indicator switch there. And this looks like the battery. I'm not sure how you get that off. Imagine you just... See, I'm careful with this because it's not mine. It's a present, so... Alright, okay, it looks like you can just pull this open, and imagine the lithium ion battery will be in there, so I'll try and open that up for you and show you. It's got a couple of screws around here in the back if you want to open it up, like here, 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 one under the sticker. There's not much to it really. So I think you would need a tool to get that open. I don't think they want you to do it unless you're charging the battery. So let's see what the games are like after. I'll do a quick measurement. So from here to here, let me get the right size ruler. Talk about being unprepared. Okay, now this is about 16 centimeters, which is about 6.6 inches or something. No, in fact less than that. 6 and a quarter. 6, about a third or something. It's hard to see this angle behind the camera. I can see 16 centimeters. Up and down, left and right. Okay, so vertically we've got about 6 3/4, and thickness about 1.8 roughly. 0.7, 1.8. I do apologise, I'm trying to do the measurements, but it is hard when you're behind the camera, etc. Okay, important part of this plastic piece of crap. The volume is actually quite loud. I'll just put that up to full just now. So that was nearly 100 decibels there. Put that to the speaker. It's about 85 to 90, you get an average. The speaker doesn't sound amazing, but we were getting between 85 and 90 on average, 85 and 90 decibels. And to put that into perspective, you know, those little smaller portable speakers that you get, your little Bluetooth speakers, little small ones, that's roughly what those ones get. Those normally get about between 80 and 90 decibels. So, says there's 999,888 games built in, and we have 2 additional cartridges here. So, you know, really, is there that many games? God, there is. I suspect a lot of these games are going to be variations. But, okay, right, Zuma Bubbles, Angry Birds, Streets of Rage. Right, so let's try Streets of Rage. Select start. Streets of Rage 3 actually. Oh well. A Mega Drive Classic, or Genesis Classic if you're watching this in North America. I mean, the buttons are kind of... they're okay actually. I mean, for older games, it's not... I mean, they're certainly not going to be as good as you know, well, that in fact these aren't the best you can get. A PSP would be better. But you can see this is what they've mimicked. So push and start, and you can kind of see the backlight. You see the white light there? See the backlight? You can see it at certain angles. You can see the backlight. The screen actually, I mean, looks okay. This is the thing. I mean, like, I've not looked at too many reviews of this, but before I got this, you kind of expect the worst. And this is the thing about reviews on Amazon and, you know, things like that. People pay $15 or £10 or something, and they expect to get a top of the range handheld. You're not going to get a top of the range handheld for that. Even to buy a backlit LCD for this old Game Boy Advance SP can be like £70 in the UK. You know, and put that in perspective and get this for like £12. So I think a lot of people have got unrealistic expectations with things like this. So, you know, it is cheap, it's plasticky, but for a kid I think this would be perfect. I mean, I think the important thing with a lot of these games would be, well, it does look like all the buttons are mapped. Yeah, I think the important thing would be that the buttons are mapped correctly, you know. There doesn't seem to be, I don't think there's a, no, I'll just push reset there. Okay, that's quite handy actually. So when you push reset, it just goes all the way off, it saves you switching it on and off. There's X-Men. Right, see, that just says Ninja Turtles, but that's clearly Turtles in Time for the SNES, or I can't remember what it was called in the Mega Drive. It's a different version for the Mega Drive. Genesis, Sonic 3D, Sonic, Knuckles, Cannon Fodder. If you ever owned an Amiga, that was a classic game. Now, clearly, I'm not going to go through 999,888 games for you all. But I want to just see some games like Desert Strike, Mega Drive Classic again, or Genesis, Ghouls and Ghosts. Most of the games so far appear to be from Mega Drive and SNES, or Genesis and SNES, or from Master System, NES. Cannon Fodder was an Amiga game, and it was actually a game that most versions of it were on computers rather than consoles. Got Golden Axe there. Now the good thing is you can actually go left and right to skip the games quicker, but look at this, 81, we've got Zuma Bubbles, Angry Birds, Streets of Rage, so automatically we're right back to the start again. So that's 80 games by the looks of it, 80 unique games so far, yeah. So that's just pointless, that is completely pointless. There doesn't seem to be any variations of that. Well, in fact there is now. No, there isn't. Zuma Bubbles, Monopoly. Let me double check that. I just want to double check that those games are different. No, they're the exact same. Yeah. So it looks like there's 80 games. So we've been down from close to 1 million games, and we're now at 80. I mean, 80 games is good in its own, but I don't. What is the benefit of not just saying you've got 80 games? Because all the games that are in it actually seem like they're decent games. They've actually selected fairly decent games. I don't. What is the benefit of that? What is the benefit of saying, right, we're not going to just say it's got 80 games, let's say there's 1 million games instead of 80. I don't understand this repeating the game on and on. Now the speaker, the problem with the speaker is it's only on one side, and it's like a mono type thing. Well, no, in fact, I mean, I'm not sure if it's mono or stereo, but the fact there's only one speaker out there makes me think it's just mono. I'm not sure if it would be like a little stereo speaker inside. Now obviously I'm trying this for the first time. I don't know anything about battery life or anything like that. It's quoted as 6 or 7 hours, but I mean I reckon for a kid, you know, if you get 4 or 5 hours out of it, that should be okay. And just keep a battery pack, you know, available if they do want it charged again. Right, I'm talking away, but this is Mortal Kombat. This is the original Mortal Kombat. It looks like the SNES version. This is the one that I paid about £70 for back in the day when I was about, when did it come out? I was probably about 13, 14 when it came out. I used to play this in the arcades all the time, so I was going crazy when it came out. And I love this. Right, so we see that button's working, kick. That's working for punch. That one's not working, but I don't know. See, I'll try to see if it's... The annoying thing is, why do they put these buttons here as if it's shoulder buttons and there's no shoulder buttons? Because obviously, this is what I was worried about with the button configurations, because clearly with the SNES, you know, the Mega Drive or the Genesis had 3 buttons. I know a 6-button controller came out, but primarily most of the games were 3 buttons, but the SNES had 6, so if you're removing these shoulder buttons, then, you know, that could be a pain. But there doesn't seem to be any option. I'm pushing start as well, that doesn't seem to be doing anything. I'm pushing start, nothing's happening, I can't pause it. So that's annoying. That's very annoying. So, initial impressions of this kind of thing is, I don't know, like the button mapping, I'll really need to try a few different games. Try Turtles in Time, see if it is Turtles in Time. The start button wasn't working there. I'm not sure why. Not sure why it wasn't working. I like this reset button though, it does take you back to the menu immediately. So there's no problems there, there's no problems with it, you know, you have to switch it on and off. You click the reset button, you're back to the beginning. You know, and someone who plays the PS4 a lot now, switch on the PS4 and when there's an update, you can be sitting there for 5-10 minutes waiting for a game to start. So, you know, I know we're comparing a retro game to a modern game, but it does remind you how good it is to just switch on a game and just start playing. I don't like these select and start buttons, I mean they do work. Oh, it's the Hyperstone Heist. Right, okay, so this is the Mega Drive version. The Genesis version. The SNES version was called Turtles in Time. So it looks like most of these games are Genesis stroke Mega Drive games, they're not SNES games. So even though there's 4 buttons, I suspect all the buttons, only these bottom 3 buttons are going to work. EA Games though is quite good, and they have been quite, they do appear to have picked a good selection of games. So this is the thing, like that's not right. Sometimes it feels really responsive and other times it isn't, but I'm not sure if that's the game or I'm pushing the wrong button or I don't know. Right, so those are the built-in games. So let's try one of these cartridges. Right, Mr. Mario's in this one. See if this one's better. This has got 999,666 games. So let me see. It looks like you just put it in here. Put it on. There we go. Different set of games. That reminds me of the Master System. Don't know if you guys remember, but with the Master System, you plugged in a game and that was the game you played. But if you switched it on without a game, then the default game would play, which for most people was Alex Kidd, which was quite cool because, you know, if you couldn't find the game or, you know, you wanted to play Alex Kidd, you didn't have to put a game in, you just had to switch it on. Gunstar Heroes, that is one of the best games on the Genesis Mega Drive. So that's good to see that there. Sonic Spinball, Kid Chameleon, Bob, Shinobi 3, that's another great game. Simpsons. What have we got here? Double Dragon 2, I love that game. Sonic the Hedgehog, classic. Right. Sonic the Hedgehog is an obvious one to try. See, the thing is, right, this thing is plastic. The buttons are quite crappy. Obviously they are, you know, it's a cheap handheld. But see, for a kid, this is perfect. That, you know, my girlfriend's boy is going to love this. What is going on here? Because I'm not controlling this. Hello? I honestly thought that had started there with me. Right, hadn't started. Let's try to do that. I can't even remember if that's the right one. Up, down, left, right. Up, C, down, C, left, C, right, C, A, B, C, Start, is that right? You know how stupid I am, I was actually playing that and I thought, I didn't realise it was a demo. I'm going to blame all the fact that was that I'm focusing on the camera as well. We always get an excuse, don't we? Always get an excuse why you mess up in these things, why you look like a terrible gamer. You know, it plays really well. It does play really well. I mean, this game retails at a few dollars or a few pounds in the app stores, so, and that's, you know, with a touch screen rather than physical buttons. I mean, the buttons are, you'll feel this as well, they kind of, they feel cheap as hell, they do. I'll try those, some other games. They do feel cheap, and there is, you can see the light bleeding at the left hand side there and a little bit at the top. And all sides actually. Viewing angles aren't amazing either, you'll probably see that there. But viewing angles isn't an issue, I mean it's a handheld. It's not like you've got someone at the other side of the couch trying to play it. Spider-Man, Arrow Flash. I'm not going to go through every single game, but you can, I'm sure you can see the games here if I go through them. James Pond, classic. Remember the sequel was called Robocop. Gunstar Heroes, right. So it looks like, okay, so this one is just under 1 million games, but that's a Chinese marketing talk for 40 games. But it's got a couple of good games on it. Sonic Spinball, Sonic the Hedgehog. In fact, Sonic Spinball was in the other one, so that's not right. Altered Beast, that was a popular game because it was included. Bonanza Brothers. There's a lot of crap there. There are a lot of bad games, but you know, I think, I mean that happens in general with these kind of things, with these emulators, these old retro gaming systems. You'll see a lot of crappy games thrown in, but I would say there's actually quite a lot of good games in here to keep you interested. So yeah, I'll quickly check. So this started with Samurai Showdown, and so alright, okay, this is something get mixed up like that. It's there. It's not at the very top like the other one was. So we've probably missed it. I'll just go back to the start, see what it's like. We've got Samurai Showdown, TPG2, looks like Outrun, I don't know what that is. Batman Returns, Thunder Fox. I was hoping to zoom in a little bit better than you, but my other camera's charging. Should be okay there. Batman Returns, Battletoads, The Terminator, Blaster Master, Sensible Soccer, superb. James Bond, Junction, Super Funhouse, and the Krusty the Clown game. Lakers vs Celtic. Right, this game holds. This has got a lot of fond memories for me. I used to play this with my big brother. It came out like 90 or 91, and he bought it. He got it imported from America to the UK, and we played so many hours on that. So I think the next one was Trailblazers versus Celtics or Lakers. I can't remember, but the next one was a different team. Lakers versus Celtics was an absolute classic game. Loved it. You know, and that's the thing for, I mean, I know these things are primarily for kids, but as an adult, I'm looking at these games and I'm like, you know, we bought these games for $40, $50, £40, £50 back in the day. These were the games that everyone played at the weekend, everyone played, you know, when you had your friends round. So if you're an old guy like me, you're gonna, you know, you'll maybe enjoy this as well. I wasn't even pushing the button there, was I? Just... Hear the buttons here. Give you an idea. That's really annoying with those shoulder buttons. It's like an optical illusion. I keep looking at it thinking that is like the buttons are active. this point I don't even know which team I'm. I assume I'm Lakers. Oh, dunk. Right. That hasn't aged well, if I'm honest. I really wanted to love that game, but... okay, we've got Alex Kidd. Championship, don't know what that is. Paddle Fighter. Sonic Eraser. Super Volleyball. Fatal Labyrinth. Nice, so it looks like we're starting to repeat games here. World Cup Soccer. Exodus. Tetris, that's good to see that there. Columns, that was a Sega classic. So you can see we're repeating the games already. So this one appears to have 37 games. If you look at Samurai Showdown being the first one, then this one appears to have 37 games. So I think, I mean, when you put them all together, I think that was 37, 40 and 60. So 137 games roughly. I may have missed some. And you can see here, all the games are the same, they just keep repeating them. Now the whole marketing thing that these games, that this system comes with 1 million games, or in fact 2 or 3 million games. If you go by this, you're a couple of million. It's just borderline. It's the stupidest thing ever, really. When you think about it, it's really, really stupid. But that aside, I don't think it's a major problem. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it is. All I do is just quickly zoom out here. Here we go. All a mess here. Just a quick comparison. I'll put that one there. This is just a quick look at the handhelds that I've got here. You can see here. There we go. If I squeeze them all in, that may be better. And you can see roughly where this sits in. It is roughly. Unfortunately, I don't have the PSP with me. That's at my brother's house just now. I would have liked to have compared that, ideally, but I'm very badly organised. But you can see here, it is a PSP. This is a PSP Go, but they have just copied the PSP, the original PSP. As far as the screen goes, though, you know, it is quite simple. It's a 2.7 inch screen. As far as how it looks, it's, you know, you can see like this Game Boy SP, this one isn't backlit, this one is, and you can see the difference there. We should be able to, God, that music would drive you crazy. This one is front lit instead of backlit. You know, it's an older console. Now these ones are all front lit. I would say doesn't look as good as the one on the Game Boy Micro or the PSP Go, but it's not terrible either. I mean, you can tell it's rough around the edges. You know, as I said during the video, it has you know, light bleeding from the sides. You know, there's been no attention to detail. They've just threw this together, lots of cheap components, and they've just sold it. But that is reflected in the price. So I think price needs to be taken into consideration with all these things. For $15, you can get this sent from China. Maybe pay a couple of pounds or a couple of dollars more if you want it bought from your own country because someone's imported it already. But you'll get around, probably around 137 games, I think I worked it out as. I could be wrong. You'll get a charging cable, you get an AV cable to connect to a television if you want to do that as well. And you get this little carrying case. So, is this a good handheld? No. It's not. Nothing compared to a 3DS or a PSP Go or any Game Boys. It just doesn't, you know, the buttons aren't as good. There's not even a menu system. The speaker's quite tinny. It's loud, but it is tinny. There is a speaker there, right enough, it looks like. Just checking that works. So, I think if you take it all into consideration and you have realistic expectations with this, then I think this thing is actually really good. You know, for $15, this is a piece of crap, but it's a good piece of crap. I think if you're buying for a kid, someone, I think the box says 3 years and up, but if you're buying for, you know, a kid 2 years old, 3 years old, upwards to like 7 or 8, I think this is a good little thing to give them. You know, keep them busy when they're on the plane or on a bus or on a train. Even keep them busy at home. It's not the best. It's plasticky, but it is light. The battery should hopefully give you 5-6 hours. How long the battery lasts long term, I don't know. That's something we need to look into. But you know, it's got 4 buttons, and by the looks of it, only 3 buttons are being used because it's mostly Mega Drive games, Genesis games there. Just not to confuse any people from North America. The Mega Drive in the UK was obviously called Genesis in North America. But I honestly think this is a great little package. It's cheap, it's plasticky, but as I said, it is cheap to buy. It's not like you're spending £100 or $100. You're not spending a lot of money on this. It's very cheap to buy. Now, as I said, have realistic expectations about this. This is very, very cheap, and you get what you pay for. For a kid up to about 7 or 8 years old, I think this is good. If they break it, who cares? You've only spent 10, 15 bucks. If they scratch it, who cares? It's cheap plastic. You don't have to buy any more games for this. You get 40 games built in and you get 2 other cartridges. Now, I'm not sure if you can buy any more cartridges. I imagine you probably could do, but these look like custom little cartridges. You won't be able to put in anything else. It's not like they're, you know, for example, here's a Game Boy Advance game. You can see they're, you know, it's their own little cartridge system. For the price, I think it's actually a great little buy. I never thought I would like this. I thought I'd be really disappointed. But taking into consideration the price of this, the screen isn't the best, but it's pretty decent. It's backlit. Yes, there's bleeding at the side, but you don't see it when you're playing it. The buttons are clicky, sometimes unresponsive, but you know, it's going to be kids playing this anyway. If you're looking for a great system to play handheld games, a great system to play retro games, I would lean towards, you know, the 3DS, the Game Boy systems, the PSP Go. It's probably still my favourite for retro games. I would lean towards those systems rather than this. But, you know, I don't think this is marketed to you. If you're looking to play old classic games, this isn't really marketed towards you. Even though this is actually a great way to play old classic games, I don't think this is for you. I think this is marketed for kids. And, you know, the fact that they've got Sonic the Hedgehog and Mario and all this in the front. And by the way, Mario isn't actually in it by the looks of it. I'll double check that. I think that just illustrates what this is for. Who this is for, sorry. So this has been the PXP3, and I'm just quickly checking to see if Mario's there. Don't believe he is. No, he's not there. I do think there's a lot of crap games on it, but there's actually quite a lot of really good games in there. I'm talking games that were, you know, in the day, these games were widely respected as being the best games on the system for the Mega Drive and the Genesis. So, you know, you've got Gunstar Heroes, you've got Sonic, you've got Streets of Rage, you've got Echo the Dolphin, you've got X-Men, Turtles. There's a lot of great games here, and, you know, think of this as a cheap-ass Genesis or Mega Drive emulator, and you've got an idea of what this is for. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, guys. I hope you've got a better idea of what this is and what it does. For what it is, I think it's good. But, you know, for $15, you can't really lose out with this kind of thing, you know. I think kids are going to love it. I think if you're expecting, you know, like a fully functional system like this, you're going to be incredibly disappointed. But take it for what it is. It's a cheap system. I think it's quite good. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, guys, so please do leave a comment below. I'll do my best to answer them when I have time. And post your questions there. If you've got one yourself, I'd love to hear from you as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, take care.